After my elder sister was rejected by her fiancé's family, my childhood sweetheart also proposed to break off our engagement. He came to me with a guilty expression and said, "Wanwan, you know how difficult it is for a woman to find another suitable match after being rejected. Ching Ching is your own sister, you wouldn't want to see her die of shame, would you?" I nodded and agreed to break off the engagement without hesitation. He happily assured me, "Don't worry, you're still my favorite. After I marry your sister, I'll also take you as my concubine and protect you for life." My face remained expressionless, but inwardly I sneered repeatedly, because in my past life, I threatened with my life, stubbornly refusing to break off the engagement and unwilling to become a concubine. As a result, Xu Qingqing hanged herself on my wedding day. Lu Lingfeng blamed all of this on me. After I married him, he beat me daily and even allowed the servants in the household to humiliate me. And when I became pregnant, he accused me of adultery, claiming the child in my womb was illegitimate, and so, I was stoned to death by the crowd. This time, I agreed to break off the engagement and immediately accepted the marriage proposal from his sworn enemy. "If both of you have made your decision, then I shall accept this letter of annulment on behalf of Wanwan's parents. From this day forward, your engagement is officially dissolved." The clan elder gave me a deep look before shaking his head and leaving. The engagement was finally called off, and for a moment, I didn't know whether to feel happy or sad. Beside me, Lu Lingfeng let out a deep sigh of relief, his eyes brimming with joy. He tried to take my hand, but I subtly avoided his touch. "Mr. Lu, since there's no longer any connection between us, it would be best to avoid each other in the future to protect my reputation." Lu Lingfeng completely disregarded my coldness and aloofness. "Wanwan, I know this has truly wronged you, but rest assured, after Qingqing and I are married, I will still marry you, although you'll have to settle for being a concubine then. I've already discussed it with Qingqing. In the household, there will be no distinction of rank between you two, you'll be equals. Soon, Qingqing and I will announce our marriage. If anyone gossips, please don't take it to heart. You've always been stronger than Qingqing, and I believe you'll understand us." Looking at the man whose heart and eyes are entirely devoted to Xu Qingqing standing before me, I feel nothing but utter pity. Had I not experienced everything from my past life, I would likely be in unbearable pain right now, making a scene uncontrollably. But now, all I want is to stay far away from these two. Ever since my rebirth, I've been searching for a way out for myself, from my understanding of Lu Lingfeng. Once he marries Xu Qingqing, even if I refuse to marry him, he would stop at nothing to take me as his concubine. Just like in my past life, when I couldn't bear the humiliation and wanted to end my life, he sent people to sever my tendons, leaving me unable to live or die. But before I could figure out a way out, rumors had already begun to spread outside. They said that the one who was originally engaged to Lu Lingfeng was Xu Qingqing all along. It was because I took advantage of my parents' favoritism that I not only snatched this marriage away but also forced Xu Qingqing to return to the old family home in Luoyang. In short, I am nothing but a vicious woman who framed her half-sister and acted ruthlessly. As a result, not only did no official families want to marry me, but even ordinary families refused to take me in. Furious, I confronted Lu Lingfeng and demanded an explanation face to face. "What's the deal with all those rumors outside?" Lu Lingfeng's gaze was somewhat evasive, and his tone lacked its usual firmness. "What rumors? I've been quite busy with official duties lately and haven't heard anything about this." Watching his evasive eyes, I still understood everything. I've clearly already agreed to break off the engagement, so why are they still unwilling to let me go? To protect Xu Qingqing, he'd rather direct all the rumors' accusations at me, even going so far as to distort the truth and ruin my reputation. Our childhood bond of over 10 years couldn't compare to his 2-year acquaintance with Xu Qingqing. I curled my lips self-deprecatingly. "Lu Lingfeng, I'm willing to break off the engagement with you, but that doesn't mean I deserve to suffer these rumors. You want to protect your fiancé, but I don't want to bear these undeserved accusations because of you." I don't know which of my words angered Lu Lingfeng, but I saw his face darken as he loudly scolded me. "Xu Wanwan, how could you become so vicious? Do you not understand what it means for a concubine's daughter to be rejected in marriage, as her younger sister? Can't you give in a little? Do you really want to watch her die? Anyway, you're destined to marry me. I don't even care about your reputation. So why are you being so fussy? Besides, if it weren't for your mother's interference, would your father have sent Qingqing to Luoyang? This is something you owe her. Hearing Lu Lingfeng slander my mother like this, my eyes instantly turned bloodshot. You know perfectly well that Xu Qingqing was sent to Luoyang because she tried to drown me. If it weren't for my mother pleading for mercy, she would have been beaten to death by my father long ago. And now, for her sake, you dare to blame me and my mother, back when Xu Qingqing pushed me into the lake and nearly drowned me. He had been so furious he could have killed her with his own hands, yet now, he claims it was my mother who drove Xu Qingqing away. I don't understand why people's hearts can change so quickly. Lu Lingfeng realized he had spoken out of turn, but his pride wouldn't allow him to apologize to me. Instead, he coldly said, "Let's not bring up the past anymore. You shouldn't show your face outside these days. Just stay quietly in the residence and wait for my bridal sedan to arrive." The day Lu Lingfeng presents the betrothal gifts to Xu Qingqing is set for today. The dowry is even twice what was given to me back then, so the occasion is incredibly grand, drawing almost the entire capital's populace out to witness the spectacle. Even secluded in my own courtyard, I could hear the servants gossiping about it. Originally, I had no intention of getting involved in their affairs again, but Xu Qingqing, eager to flaunt her triumph, specifically had Lu Lingfeng send someone to summon me. In her words, now the entire Xu family consists only of her and me relying on each other. Such an important event as the betrothal gift presentation requires my presence as her sister. Helpless, I had no choice but to follow the Lu family's steward to the front hall. Before even entering, I saw the two of them intimately nestled together, disregarding the gazes of others. "Qingqing, are you feeling happier today? Brother Feng treats me so well. Of course I'm happy, but I'm afraid my sister might be upset. Look, she didn't even show up on such an important day. Don't worry, I've already sent people to look for her. If only she were half as sensible as you." Listening to their conversation, even though I had already decided to draw a clear line with Lu Lingfeng, my heart couldn't help but ache slightly. The one who once held me dearly in his hands now scolds me for being immature in front of the person I despise most. Noticing my unusual mood, the butler beside me cleared his throat lightly. Only then did the two in the room reluctantly part slightly, to show his seriousness about this marriage proposal. Lu Lingfeng even specially invited his friend to accompany him. The moment they saw me, disdain flashed across all their faces. Who would have thought that Xu Wanwan, who always carries herself like a proper lady from a noble family, could be so vicious behind the scenes? Not only did she steal her own sister's marriage arrangement, but she also forced her to leave the capital. No wonder young Master Lu called off the engagement. If it were me, I wouldn't marry such a cruel woman either. Otherwise, it would surely bring nothing but turmoil to the household. Their gossip wasn't whispered, everyone in the room could hear them loud and clear. But Lu Lingfeng showed no intention of clearing my name, simply allowing them to mock me. I clenched the handkerchief in my hand, barely able to contain myself. "What proof do you have to say such things?" Lu Lingfeng sharply cut me off mid-sentence. "Wanwan, this is supposed to be a joyous day. Must you really make a scene? Look at yourself. Where is even half the grace befitting a lady from a respectable family?" I glared at him, my voice brimming with anger. Is it really me making a scene? Or are these people's words simply too vile? Lu Lingfeng, if you want to defend your fiancé, that's your own affair, but you can't use my reputation to whitewash Xu Qingqing. Wasn't Xu Qingqing sent to the old house in Luoyang because she? Before I could finish speaking, I heard a loud slap, and a clear handprint appeared on my left cheek, covering my face. I stared at Lu Lingfeng in disbelief. Yet Lu Lingfeng didn't even glance at me. "I've already told you, what's past is past. Why bring it up again? Can't you just let Qingqing be happy?" Xu Qingqing then stepped forward hypocritically to speak up for me. Feng, no matter how unreasonable Wanwan is, you shouldn't hit her. When father and mother were still alive, they treasured her most. If they knew Wanwan was beaten, they'd surely blame me again. Besides, it's only natural for Wanwan to hold resentment. After all, it was because of me that you broke off the engagement with her. Wanwan, Afeng didn't mean to. If you're angry, just hit me instead, I won't fight back. Lu Lingfeng immediately shielded Xu Qingqing in his arms, eyeing me warily. Qingqing, you're just too kind-hearted, which is why people keep taking advantage of you. Xu Wanwan, I'm the one who hit you. If you dare cause trouble for Qingqing, I'll make you regret it. If you're not here to bless me and Qingqing, then get the hell back to your own courtyard. Seeing Lu Lingfeng defend her so fiercely, Xu Qingqing was moved to tears. But in places where others couldn't see, she looked at me provocatively, a triumphant smile curling at the corners of her mouth. I completely ignored Xu Qingqing because an indescribable fear was spreading through my heart. The man from my past life who abused me like a demon seemed to overlap with the man glaring at me fiercely now. All I wanted was to escape Lu Lingfeng's sight as quickly as possible. As I turned to leave, I heard Lu Lingfeng announce to everyone, "Qingqing is my true love. And I will always protect her." With Lu Lingfeng's backing, Xu Qingqing also shed her previously timid demeanor and began acting domineeringly within the Xu family. She would come to my courtyard almost every day to flaunt her advantages. "Sister, our Feng went out of his way to find me a luminous pearl from the South Sea just to make me happy. I heard it's an extremely rare treasure, by the way. My wedding dress was specially sewn for me by palace embroiderers." He begged the Empress Dowager for this favor, and my bridal headdress and jewelry were also bought at great expense by our Feng. He said he wanted me to be the happiest bride in the world. Listening to her endless chatter, my thoughts had already drifted far away. I had thought finding a husband's family that neither feared the Lu family's influence nor cared about my current reputation would be as difficult as reaching the heavens. I've even thought that if I really couldn't find someone willing to marry me, I would leave the capital on the day of Lu Lingfeng and Xu Qingqing's wedding. In short, I would never let myself repeat the same mistakes. But I never expected that the general's mansion, which had little interaction with our Xu family, would send me a marriage proposal. The young general of the general's mansion, Shenhan's Hen, has always been at odds with Lu Lingfeng, so my interactions with Shenhan's Hen were also few and far between. His sudden action left me utterly perplexed. I even suspected it might be another prank played on me by Lu Lingfeng and Xu Qingqing. It wasn't until Shenhan's Hen personally met with me that I confirmed the matter was genuine. In his own words, "Anything that can make Lu Lingfeng unhappy, I'm more than willing to do. Don't you feel the same way, Miss Xu?" I half believed his words and accepted his marriage proposal. No matter what Shen Hanshen's true intentions were in marrying me, he was indeed the best candidate to help me escape from Lu Lingfeng. I always felt that no matter how bad Shenhan's Hen might be, he couldn't possibly be worse than Lu Lingfeng from my past life. My only request regarding this marriage is to keep it hidden from Lu Lingfeng. At least until the ceremony is completed, he must not find out about this. Xu Qingqing noticed that despite her lengthy speech, my reaction remained indifferent, without showing even a hint of jealousy or resentment. Finally dropping her pretense, she spoke through gritted teeth. "Xu Wanwan, no matter how much father dotes on you, no matter that you're the legitimate daughter and I'm the illegitimate one, what does it matter? Soon enough, I'll still be able to trample you underfoot. It won't be long before we sisters marry our Feng together. What a pity. I'll be the wife, and you'll be the concubine. My children will be legitimate, while yours can only be bastards. Every grievance I've suffered in the past, I'll repay twofold in the future." But no matter how she provoked me, I remained unmoved, simply letting her rant and rave like a clown before me, because I knew I would never marry Lu Lingfeng as a concubine, and she would never have the chance to trample over me. Moreover, I understood Lu Lingfeng's true nature better than anyone else. Don't be fooled by how he dotes on Xu Qingqing now. What their marriage will truly be like is hard to predict. My reaction completely infuriated Xu Qingqing. But now we're still at the Xu residence, and with the Xu family present, even if Lu Lingfeng backs her up, she wouldn't dare to truly do anything to me. So all she could do was leave resentfully with a furious "you just wait." Before storming off, watching Xu Qingqing's retreating figure, I sighed. My mind still completely preoccupied with Shenhan's Hen. The next day, Lu Lingfeng personally came knocking to demand an explanation. Shu Wanwan, the matter is already settled. Why are you still bullying Qingqing? Apologize to her right now. Shu Qingqing followed behind Lu Lingfeng, her eyes reddened. Yet she still pretended to speak up for me. Afeng, it was my fault to begin with. I don't blame my younger sister, so you shouldn't blame her either. I lowered my gaze. Feeling a wave of irony in my heart, Shu Qingqing was already getting her wish to marry into the Lu family, yet she remained unsatisfied, always trying to use Lu Lingfeng to cause trouble for me. I took a deep breath, too lazy to defend myself, and just sneered. Did you see with your own eyes that I bullied her? If not, then why should I apologize? Besides, if she didn't willingly throw herself at me, who could have bullied her? Lu Lingfeng's face darkened, his tone icy to the extreme. In the future, Qingqing will be my wife, and you will be my concubine. Since when does a concubine need to ask so many questions when apologizing to the rightful wife? My voice involuntarily rose a few notches. Lu Lingfeng, who said I agreed to marry you as a concubine? Lu Lingfeng's face grew even more furious as he took a step forward and tightly gripped my wrist. You're already notorious, tell me, who else would marry you besides me? Wanwan, I originally intended to treat you well. But lately, you've been far too disobedient. Since your parents are no longer here to teach you manners, I'll take their place and properly instruct you. Otherwise, once you enter the Lu household, you'll only bring chaos and unrest. Aunt Liu, you shall stay at the Lu residence these next few days and properly teach Wanwan etiquette and manners. As the words fell, a fierce-looking old woman stepped out from behind Shu Qingqing. Young master, rest assured, I will certainly discipline concubine Shu thoroughly. At the sight of Aunt Liu, my heart couldn't help but tremble, as those unbearable memories from my past life came flooding back once more. In my past life, it was this nanny Liu who pierced my body with needles until it was riddled with holes, and even tore off all my fingernails and toenails by force. Even though I had already endured to this extent, Lu Lingfeng still wanted me to repeat the same tragedy, recalling the horrors of my past life. My legs went weak, and I couldn't help but collapse to the ground. Lu Lingfeng, this is my Shu manor. Your people have no right to act recklessly here. Shu Mingchuan let out a cold laugh. Wanwan, I'm asking you one last time, will you apologize to Qingqing? I closed my eyes briefly, tears streaming down my cheeks. But I still spoke humiliatingly to Shu Qingqing. Sister, I'm sorry, it was my fault. Lu Lingfeng finally squatted down with satisfaction. Gently wiping away the remaining tears from the corners of my eyes with his hand, Wanwan, if only you had been this obedient earlier. Qingqing and I will be married in 5 days. On that day, I will also send a sedan chair to bring you into the mansion. Times have changed. The Shu family can only rely on our Lu family from now on. Wanwan has always been clever. You surely know what choice is best for you and for the Shu family. With that, he wrapped his arm around Shu Qingqing and turned to leave. Before leaving, he didn't forget to remind me once more. Wanwan, you're a concubine. Your wedding dress can only be pink. Make sure not to use the wrong fabric. It would be embarrassing if you caused a scene. Watching their retreating figures, I clenched the handkerchief in my hand tightly. The day of Lu Lingfeng and Shu Qingqing's grand wedding arrived swiftly. After Lu Lingfeng took Shu Qingqing away, I immediately changed into the magnificent wedding dress sent by Shenhan's hen and boarded his bridal sedan. Lu Lingfeng, this time, I won't let you manipulate me anymore. I wonder if Shenhan's hen did it on purpose. He could have easily avoided Lu Lingfeng's wedding procession. Yet he deliberately crossed paths with Lu Lingfeng face to face. Hearing Lu Lingfeng's voice, my heart instantly leaped into my throat. General Shen Shao, you're getting married today too. Why have I never heard of it? Shenhan's hen smiled mockingly. What business is it of yours whom this general marries? Are we on such good terms? Should I have specially informed you? Lu Lingfeng was taken aback by Shen Hanshen's blunt words, his face immediately darkening. But remembering that today was his wedding day, he didn't want to cause any trouble, so he forcibly suppressed the anger rising in his heart. He merely snorted coldly before brushing past Shenhan's hen, yet as he passed the bridal sedan, he couldn't resist stealing a glance inside. It's just a pity that the bridal sedan was tightly covered, so he couldn't even catch a glimpse of the bride's hem. Shen Hansen glanced sideways at Lu Lingfeng and continued leading the wedding procession, beating drums and gongs as they advanced toward the general's residence. Only after we had gone quite far did my anxiously suspended heart finally settle back into place. Lu Lingfeng probably never would have guessed that the bride inside Shen Hansen's bridal sedan would be me. On the other side, Lu Lingfeng hadn't considered this aspect at all. He merely asked his trusted subordinate following him with some curiosity, "Lu Hansen is actually getting married today too. Why wasn't there any news about it?" The subordinate immediately shook his head. "I haven't heard any rumors either. It seems young General Shen has kept his marriage plans completely under wraps. In my opinion, there's something fishy about this matter." Lu Lingfeng also found it quite strange in his heart, even feeling a sense of unease. After pondering for a moment, I whispered to my trusted aide, "Hurry and have someone investigate which official's daughter Shen Hansen married. Someone who could make him go to such lengths must be no ordinary figure." The trusted subordinate accepted the order and silently vanished into the wedding procession. Everything that followed proceeded smoothly. When the bridesmaid escorted me into the bridal chamber, I still felt a sense of unreality. At this time in my previous life, I was eagerly awaiting my husband's arrival. I dreamed of living in perfect harmony with him, growing old together in love. But when news of Xu Qingqing's suicide came, my beautiful dream was completely shattered. What awaited me was not happiness, but a living hell. At this moment, what fills my heart is more unease. Even if I combined 2 lifetimes, the number of times I've met Shen Hansen could still be counted on 10 fingers. In my past life, I never heard any news of Shen Hansen getting married, because on the day of my wedding to Lu Lingfeng, he requested permission to go guard the border. Until my death, he never returned to the capital again. In this lifetime, it seems all our lives have taken different paths from the previous one. Just as my mind was wandering, the bedroom door was gently pushed open, and someone entered. Then my bridal veil was lightly lifted, revealing Shen Hansen's extraordinarily handsome face before me. My palms were already drenched in sweat. As if sensing my nervousness, Shen Hansen teased half-jokingly, "Is your husband really that frightening? Why won't my wife even spare me a glance? How heartbreaking." I quickly shook my head in denial. "No, you're very good-looking." By the time I realized what I had actually said, my face and ears were already burning red. But Lu Hansen was utterly delighted, even bursting into hearty laughter. I always knew the wife I married was a remarkable woman. The originally somewhat awkward atmosphere quietly dissipated like this. Seeing Shen Hansen in a good mood, I couldn't resist asking the curiosity in my heart, "General Shen, did you really marry me just to spite Lu Lingfeng?" Hearing my question, Shen Hansen stopped laughing and gave me a deep look. "He's not worthy, Lu Lingfeng." For a moment, I was somewhat taken aback. Shen Hansen probably meant that Lu Lingfeng wasn't worthy of affecting his marriage. But why would he pass over so many daughters of noble families and choose to marry me, a woman whose family has fallen from grace and whose reputation is less than stellar? After all, given his family background and achievements, he would even be qualified to marry a princess. Thinking this, I voiced my thoughts aloud, but unexpectedly, Shen Hansen let out a light sigh, his face showing a hint of disappointment. "Ah, it seems my wife truly doesn't remember her husband. To be honest, I genuinely don't remember when I ever crossed paths with the famous young General Shen Hansen. It wasn't until he couldn't stand it anymore and spoke up to remind me that I finally recalled. Turns out, 10 years ago, Shen Hansen's father went missing while fighting enemies on the battlefield. Rumors began spreading that General Shen had betrayed his country. At that time, although the emperor had not yet made his stance clear, many opportunistic individuals had already begun to distance themselves, even openly or covertly suppressing the general's residence. Back then, the general's wife personally went to the borderlands to search for her missing husband, leaving the young Shen Hansen alone in the capital. As a result, he suffered relentless humiliation. The sons of officials often took pleasure in tormenting him, forcing him to crawl between their legs and bark like a dog. At that time, Shen Hansen couldn't even afford a full meal, and when he fell ill, he had no choice but to endure it alone. Once, when I sneaked out of the mansion, I happened to encounter Shen Hansen, who was burning with fever and on the verge of death, unable to bear seeing him suffer. I secretly arranged for the Shu family's physician to treat Shen Han's hen and even sent people to help him discreetly. Later, the general's wife found the severely wounded general and brought him back to the capital. The general presented evidence to prove his innocence and even made a military pledge to the emperor, vowing to reclaim the borderlands at all costs. 3 months later, after recovering from his injuries, the general took Shen Han's hen with him to the borderlands. Those kind deeds were nothing more than trivial efforts for me at the time, and I didn't give them a second thought. Little did I know, he had remembered them all along. Shen Han's hen also told me that the reason he went to the border with his father was to earn military merits so he could return to the capital and marry me. Although he tried his best to shorten the time, he still returned too late. By the time he came back, I was already engaged to Lu Lingfeng. And I was quite satisfied with this marriage arrangement. Helplessly, he could only choose to silently bless me. But who would have thought that Lu Lingfeng didn't cherish me, which gave him the opportunity to take advantage of the situation. Hearing Shen Hanshen's words, my heart was filled with nothing but shock and deep emotion. I finally understood why he suddenly requested to be stationed at the border in my previous life and vowed never to return to the capital. It turns out I wasn't unworthy of love, I had simply been looking for it in the wrong person. Suddenly remembering something, I asked Shen Han's hen again, so your constant friction with Lu Lingfeng, was it because of me? Shen Han's hen smiled and replied, you were half the reason. I asked curiously, so what's the other half of the reason? Back then, the rumors about my father colluding with the enemy and betraying the country originated from the Lu residents. I nodded in understanding. Father Lu and his son are actually cut from the same cloth. In my previous life, when Lu Lingfeng abused me, I once turned to Father Lu for help with hopeful expectations, because every time I saw Father Lu as a child, he always appeared kind and benevolent. Yet, when faced with my battered and bruised self, Father Lu merely cast me a cold glance. Then he sent someone to inform Lu Lingfeng to come and collect me, before handing me over to Lu Lingfeng. He didn't forget to instruct him to keep a close watch on me and not to cause any disturbances. After being taken back by Lu Lingfeng, I faced even more brutal beatings and abuse from him. Recalling all the hardships I endured in my past life, I couldn't help but furrow my brow. I truly don't want to let either of the Lu father and son off. At that moment, Shen Han's hen suddenly took my hand and kissed it. My dear, tonight is our wedding night. I've been talking with you for so long, shouldn't you properly repay your husband? Catching the hidden meaning in Shen Hanshen's words, my face burned as if on fire again, and my heart couldn't help but pound wildly. All those painful memories vanished completely in this instant. Shen Han's hen carefully carried me to the bed, and his passionate kisses immediately descended. He kissed me from my lips all the way to my ear, finally whispering softly, Wanwan, I've finally married you, I love you. My heart and body melted into a pool of spring water because of his sudden confession. I thought to myself, in this lifetime, I finally didn't make the wrong choice. Unlike the romantic atmosphere filling the general's residence, the Lu household was already in complete chaos. The people Lu Lingfeng sent to fetch me never saw me come out. By the time they realized something was wrong and rushed into the Shu residence to search for people. I had already completed the wedding ceremony with Shen Han's hen. Not only that, but I had also arranged for all the elders of the Shu family to be relocated to other residences. There, they were guarded by Shen Hanshen's trusted soldiers. The vast Shu residence was left with only a handful of Shu Qingqing's lackeys. Upon hearing the news, Lu Lingfeng could hardly believe his ears. Yet even at this moment, he never imagined that Shen Han's hen would marry me. He simply assumed I had run away secretly. Enraged, he roared at the secret guard kneeling on the ground, hurry up and send someone to find her. I refused to believe a mere woman could run far. In any case, I want her found alive or dead. After the secret guards left, he swept the pair of mandarin duck cups off the table onto the floor. It seems I've spoiled Shu Wanwan too much, allowing her to become this lawless. Once she's caught, I'll make sure to teach her a proper lesson. Shu Qingqing looked at the shattered mandarin duck quilt scattered on the floor, a flicker of anger flashing in her eyes, but she quickly concealed her emotions. She nestled in Lu Lingfeng's arms, her delicate hands wandering over his chest, her voice dripping with charm. Husband, perhaps younger sister is just upset, who knows? She might reappear on her own in a few days. Tonight is our wedding night. Let's not waste any time. In the past, Lu Lingfeng would have already spent a passionate night with Xu Qingqing, but at this moment, he had no such thoughts at all. He pushed Xu Qingqing away from his embrace, his voice no longer as gentle as before. Qingqing, you've had a long day today, so rest early. I still have some things to attend to. With that, he left the bridal chamber without looking back. Lu Lingfeng waited in the study until midnight, but no news of finding me came. It wasn't until his trusted subordinate, whom he had sent during the day to inquire about Shen Hanshen's wedding, returned that he finally learned everything. He grabbed his confidant by the collar and growled in a low voice, "What did you say? Shen Hanshen married Xu Wanwan. How is that possible? You must have gotten the wrong information." But the confidant replied to Lu Lingfeng with absolute certainty, "Young master, it's absolutely true. The steward of the general's mansion has clearly told me that the young general's newlywed wife is indeed Xu Wanwan, the legitimate daughter of the Xu family. Moreover, subordinates have also discovered traces of the Xu family elders in the villa of the general's residence, and the area is heavily guarded by the Shen family army." Faced with these concrete pieces of evidence brought by his trusted aide, even if Lu Lingfeng was unwilling to believe it, he could no longer deceive himself. He released his grip on his aide's collar and slumped into the chair, muttering under his breath, "How could this be? How could Wanwan be involved with Shen Hanshen? This must all be fake. Wanwan is just angry that I didn't make her my official wife, so she teamed up with Shen Hanshen to put on an act and deceive me. Yes, that's right. It must be this way." The trusted aide listened silently to Lu Lingfeng's murmurs. He wanted very much to advise his master to wake up and stop deceiving himself, but he didn't dare, so he could only let Lu Lingfeng rage on beside him. Because of the night's turmoil, I didn't wake up until the sun was high the next day. Fortunately, the old general and his wife were still stationed at the border, so as a new bride, I didn't have to serve tea to my mother-in-law. Otherwise, I would have died of shame. Just after finishing breakfast, a servant came to report that Lu Lingfeng wanted to see me about something. I was reluctant to continue entangling with Lu Lingfeng, but avoiding him wasn't a long-term solution. After some thought, I decided to meet Lu Lingfeng and clarify everything with him once and for all. By the time I arrived at the front hall, Lu Lingfeng had already been waiting for a while. The moment he saw me, he eagerly tried to rush forward and grab my hand, but I swiftly dodged him. "Young Master Lu, this is the general's manor, and I am the young mistress of the general's manor, so I must ask you to behave with dignity." "No, Wanwan, I don't believe it. How could you marry Shen Hanshen? You don't even like him. You must be angry with me, right? Wanwan, come with me, let's stop this quarrel, alright?" I couldn't help but find it somewhat amusing as I looked at Lu Lingfeng. His eyes filled with pain, and coldly replied, "Young Master Lu, let me tell you once again, I am already the young madam of the general's manor. There's no way I would leave with you. Moreover, my husband is a truly honorable and upright man. How could I possibly not love him? Young Master Lu just got married yesterday. If you have no other business, you should return home early to accompany your new wife. Otherwise, she might accuse me of bullying her again." I thought that after saying all this, Lu Lingfeng would surely take the hint and leave. But unexpectedly, his eyes lit up instead, revealing a look of sudden understanding. "Wanwan, I knew you must be jealous of Qingqing. This proves you still have feelings for me. I admit, I've indeed neglected you lately and caused you much distress. The reason I treat Qingqing so well is because she's your only remaining family in this world. As long as you're willing to come back with me, I promise to treat you well from now on. I'll marry you as my equal wife. You and Qingqing will share equal status." His eyes were sincere as he spoke these words, as if he truly loved me. Had it not been for the lesson learned in my past life, I might have actually been fooled by his devout appearance. I picked up the teacup beside me and took a gentle sip before speaking indifferently. "Lu Lingfeng, the moment I decided to break off our engagement, I stopped liking you. To me now, you're just an insignificant person. Also, I'm already married. Please stop saying things that could cause misunderstandings, but I didn't expect that my tea-drinking motion would accidentally reveal the hickey on my neck. Lu Lingfeng noticed it immediately. His eyes turned red as he grabbed my wrist recklessly and shouted at me, Xu Wanwan, did you consummate your marriage with Shenhan's hen last night? How dare you? Lu Lingfeng's somewhat frenzied demeanor startled me, leaving me momentarily stunned. Xu Wanwan, you must come with me today. With that, he grabbed me and started pulling me out of the room. The servant nearby immediately rushed to save me upon seeing this, but before they could get close, Lu Lingfeng was already kicked flying by someone. Suddenly appearing, Shenhan's hen shielded me in his arms, especially when he saw the red marks on my wrist, his eyes brimming with uncontrollable rage. Lu Lingfeng, how dare you come to my residence to bully my wife? It seems you're courting death. With that, he stepped forward intending to deliver a few more kicks. Fortunately, I managed to pull him back in time. I whispered to Shenhan's hen, husband, the Lu family hasn't fallen yet, and Lu Lingfeng is still an official of the court. He cannot have an accident in our general's manor. Only then did Shenhan's hen give up the idea of beating him up. Get the hell out of here, and don't ever come back to my general's mansion again, or I'll beat you up every time you show your face. Lu Lingfeng clutched his chest, glaring fiercely at Shenhan's hen. Shenhan's hen, you despicable coward who takes advantage of others' misfortune, I won't let you get away with this. As he spoke, he turned his gaze toward me. Wanwan, do you really think Shenhan's hen genuinely likes you? Don't be foolish, he's just using you to get back at me. I stared back at him expressionlessly. There's no need for young Master Lu to concern himself with this. You'd better leave the general's residence quickly. After all, no one here welcomes you. Lu Lingfeng knew all too well that staying any longer would bring him no advantage. Clutching his chest, he could only retreat in disgrace. As he was about to leave the general's residence, Shenhan's hen suddenly spoke again. Master Lu, I wonder if you know why your new wife was previously rejected in marriage. Lu Lingfeng's footsteps immediately halted as he turned to demand. Shenhan's hen, what do you mean by that? Do you really think your few words can sow discord between Qingqing and me? Stop dreaming, Shenhan's hen responded with an indifferent smile. With young Master Lu's vast connections in the capital, naturally you can investigate anything thoroughly. Of course, if young Master Lu prefers to keep deceiving himself, this general doesn't mind. After all, she isn't my wife. Although Lu Lingfeng claimed not to believe Shenhanshen's words, deep down, he knew Shenhan's hen wasn't the type to slander others over personal grudges. So the moment he returned to the Lu residence, he immediately sent someone to investigate the incident of Xu Qingqing's broken engagement. After the secret guards withdrew, Xu Qingqing came to the study to find Lu Lingfeng. With a pitiful expression, she coquettishly complained, husband, I waited for you all night last night, but you never came back. By the way, any news about younger sister? However, Lu Lingfeng didn't answer her question, instead fixing his gaze intently on her. Xu Qingqing felt her heart race under Lu Lingfeng's piercing gaze. She swallowed hard and forced a smile. Husband, why are you looking at me like that? Qingqing, when you were rejected in marriage before, was it truly because that family looked down on you being a concubine's daughter? Hearing Lu Lingfeng suddenly bring up her past broken engagement, Xu Qingqing felt an ominous premonition rise in her heart. But she still pretended to be calm and said, of course it's true. How could I possibly deceive you, my husband? Did someone say something to you? Xu Qingqing cautiously probed, but Lu Lingfeng didn't continue the topic. Instead, he told her, Wanwan married Shenhan's hen yesterday. She's now the young mistress of the general's manor. What? How is this possible? Xu Qingqing's eyes were filled with disbelief, and the handkerchief in her hands was crumpled beyond recognition. She had thought she could finally trample me underfoot. Never expecting that I would marry someone even more outstanding than Lu Lingfeng, how could she ever be content with this? So that very afternoon, she went straight to the general's residence. My, what skillful maneuvering, dear sister. The moment a phone cast you aside, you immediately latched onto a higher branch. Aren't you afraid of falling to your death? I merely glanced at her indifferently, showing not the slightest trace of anger. Don't worry, sister, I will definitely outlive you. Sister, you're newlywed, yet your complexion looks so poor. My brother-in-law truly doesn't know how to cherish you. Shu Qingqing was instantly enraged by my words. Shu Wanwan, don't get too smug. Though you married Shen Han's hen, I married a Feng. I'm no worse off than you. Besides, my husband truly loves me dearly. As for yours, that's not so certain. After all, everyone in the capital knows young General Shen and A Feng don't get along. Young General Shen might have married you just to spite A Feng. If one day he realizes A Feng doesn't care about you at all, he'll surely cast you aside. Shu Qingqing and Lu Lingfeng really deserve each other. Even the nonsense they spout is nearly identical. I scoffed. What happens between my husband and me in the future is none of your concern. Sister, you'd better focus on yourself, lest you regret it later. Shu Qingqing snorted coldly. There's still a long way to go, we'll see. Shu Qingqing believed that as long as she could firmly hold Lu Lingfeng's heart, she would never fare worse than me. But how could she know that she was about to experience everything I endured in my past life? She thought she had hidden her past well. But who would have guessed that Lu Lingfeng simply sent someone to Luoyang to investigate casually and uncovered the truth about her broken engagement? It turned out it wasn't at all because others looked down on her status as a concubine's daughter. Rather, she herself lacked self-respect and self-restraint, flirting with several wealthy young men while still betrothed to another. She was accidentally seen by her husband's family, which led to the subsequent cancellation of the engagement. Realizing he had been deceived, Lu Lingfeng's true nature was completely exposed. He began finding new ways every day to torment Shu Qingqing together with Nanny Liu, but Shu Qingqing was ultimately more ruthless than I had been in my previous life. After enduring nearly a year of inhuman torment, she had completely lost her mind. One night when Lu Lingfeng was drunk, she set fire to the place and perished together with him. When the news reached me, I was basking in the garden with my 5-month pregnant belly. For a moment, I admired Shu Qingqing. Because she did what I never dared to do in my past life. Shen Han's hen sat beside me, keenly noticing the fluctuation in my emotions. Darling, are you thinking about your half-sister? I nodded and sighed softly, saying, I hope she can be reborn into a good family in her next life and never be a concubine's daughter again. She will, actually. It's better for her to pass away like this, because the Lu family is about to face a great calamity. I looked at Shen Han's hen with confusion. Shen Han's hen smiled and explained, the evidence of the Lu family's corruption, bribery, and treason has already been presented to His Majesty. It's likely that within these next few days, His Majesty will surely take action against the Lu family. It's just a pity Lu Lingfeng got off easy. I gently touched my pregnant belly, my face filled with happiness. Who cares about all that? As long as we're happy, that's all that matters.